With us now, officially, the author, the nationally syndicated radio host, MSNBC political analyst, and of course, the Masters champion for 1988.
Hugh Hewitt and his new book, The Fourth Way, the conservative playbook for a lasting GOP majority, is out today.
So, Hugh, what's it like being a conservative in the age of Donald Trump? How do conservatives? How do they sort through all this?
You know, they're meeting today in Philadelphia, the congressional retreat, which you used to go to, Joe. For 2 days, the president's going to go up there later, and I think this will be a merger of Trump promises, which he's delivering on, and conservative toolbox. How do you do it? How do you do infrastructure with a conservative twist? You do it at the local level. How do you do immigration reform with a conservative twist? You build the fence. How do you do tax reform and regulatory reform? He's actually delivering.
So let's talk about yesterday, what happened yesterday. Or this morning, actually, he's talked about TPP. Yesterday, he met with union leaders and signed that, which really didn't mean a whole lot because it was on its way out anyway. I have been more of a conservative populist. People like Largent and myself came in '94. That was our, but the traditional conservatives, Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, I would guess you're more traditional.
I'm a Ryan conservative.
Right. Yeah, you're more traditional. How do you guys sort through this and bring the two sides together?
Well, I think the vice president's key to that. The president has gotten very well along with Paul Ryan. I think they have to sit down like they did yesterday. You know, President Trump did more outreach in one day yesterday than President Obama did in a year when he brought tradespeople. The tradespeople are folks who build things. He's a builder. They've been dealing with each other for years. So if the Republicans get over their infrastructure phobia and they give $100 billion to local people to use, to build things, tangible Trump trophies, that's what I call them in the book, tangible Trump trophies, like the WPA bill. My first job was in a WPA pool.
Was it really?
In Waddell Pool, Niles Park, still there, and it's got WPA written on it. I grew up going to a library built by Carnegie. They're still there in the towns across the United States, 1,600 of them. So if the Republicans give money, like Trump wants them to do, to local people to decide locally what to build, he'll get his trophies, he'll fulfill his promise, we'll win re-election, and the trades will be happy.
And what about tax reform? Is Donald Trump a conservative on tax reform based on what you've seen?
I hope not. The Wall Street Journal Republicans, I refer to them, they're my friends, I like them, they read Hayek for fun. They want to get rid of the mortgage interest reduction.
You don't read the system for fun?
No. The mortgage interest reduction fuels the home building industry, which fuels America. You can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of the state and local income tax deduction. You cannot get rid of the charitable deduction. The Wall Street Journal Republicans want to do that. Kevin Brady, however, was on yesterday with Greta and made a very series of concessions that they will meet Trump halfway on tax reform, not do stupid things like the mortgage interest reduction, but do smart things like making it a simple form.
Why can't you just cap those things rather than eliminate them?
It's one market for housing, Mark. If you cap them, you diminish the value of the homes at the top level, which means a $1 million home becomes a $900,000 home, a $900,000 becomes a $700,000, goes all the way down. Capping is bad.
I don't agree with you on that, but I'm going to ask you about the balance. The Republican House plan, the president's plan, gives a big tax cut to the rich, smaller tax cut to the middle class. Would it be good politics and good policy for them to do more what Democrats would want? Move more of the middle class, more of the deductions to the middle class?
Absolutely. Should move to take the middle, which President Obama never did. He stayed hard on the left. If President Trump edges the Republicans just a bit to the center with some infrastructure spending, and I think his Nixon to China moment is an immigration overhaul, I think you don't ever move the dreamers out. You regularize most of the people who are here illegally who are just working hard. He wins resoundingly in 2018.
But that includes on a tax cut. Less
wealthy, for the top,
more to the middle class.
The top doesn't need it. They want simplification. The top does want to get rid of the alternative minimum tax, which makes it a nightmare. But other than that, you're absolutely right. Win 2020 in 2017.
Would revolutionize our politics if you did it.
Yep.
Hugh, switch hats. I think one of the most fascinating questions that I just haven't heard a good answer for is, I can explain why Hillary Clinton lost. I think Donald Trump just outworked her. But how did Democrats lose 1,000 legislative seats over the past 8 years? And my question to you is, how did Democrats start winning those seats back?
Well, they missed their chance. Tim Ryan's a friend of mine. He's very, very good. They should have put him into the leader's role. Chris Murphy is very, very good. He ought to be leaving. Kamala Harris is very, very good. She ought to be their poster child for the new generation.
She really stood out at the march on Saturday.
She was terrific as opposed to being grindingly bitter. She was forward-looking.
She was.
So there are ways for them to rebuild, but not with that leadership team.
So what's happened over the past 8 years?
The echo chamber of the left is centered in this city, in D.C. and Los Angeles. And Tim Ryan is from my hometown, went to my high school.
That's what happened to Hillary Clinton.
It's Trumbull County. You got to go back to Ohio, and they don't do it well.
You know, we were talking off camera about how corrosive a lot of the late night shows are to open thinking on the left, because if you're a liberal, you can turn on those shows every night and just laugh at conservatives, laugh at moderates, laugh at people in Ohio, and just it's this reinforcement is constant.
Ross Douthat called it their Samantha Bee problem. Right. And right now, Foxconn is thinking about bringing $7 billion worth of investment and 30,000 jobs somewhere in the United States. I bet you President Trump's on the phone saying, put that in Ohio, put that in Wisconsin, put that in Pennsylvania so I can visit that in 2 years.
But how does the left break out of the bubble that we Republicans, I remember talking about...
I don't want him to, Joe.
I know, but I was talking about after Mitt Romney lost, you know, they were still watching Fox at 12 at night, listening to Karl Rove telling them that they were still going to win the election. There was such a bubble that reinforced, I think, all their bad habits.
David Axelrod told me when we were doing a daily bit during the series, when unfortunately the Cubs beat the Indians, that President Obama should have been doing more conservative media. And that's what they really need to do. They need to get out of their ghetto of elite media and start talking to Rush and Deshant and me on the air, and to come here and take tough questions from conservatives, because you're never going to win an argument that you don't have.
And that's what we're talking about, the conservative ghetto of Fox News, talk radio, etc. If you're a conservative, you need to get out.
Yeah.
If you're a liberal, you need to get out. What's the fourth way?
The fourth way is the way that you marry conservative toolbox techniques with Donald Trump's promises, because he ran and he won and he is the president, and he won a huge win in a constitutional majority in the Electoral College. Not the popular vote, but the constitutional majority. And this means if you're Paul Ryan and you're the leader, Kevin McCarthy, or you're Kevin Brady, remember, he won. He's the boss. He's the president, and he gets to have his agenda implemented and his people confirmed. Big story, Chuck Schumer double-crossing the Republicans on Mike Pompeo. That was a breach of trust. There was a shouting match between Tom Cotton on the floor with Chuck Schumer, where Schumer said, if you'd been here 8 years ago, and Cotton interrupted, I'd get my ass shot at in Afghanistan 8 years ago. Don't tell me about that. You lied. And Richard Byrd said, you lied. When does anyone ever say that in Washington?
Wow.
Well, I remember what's happening.
Oh, you're right. Joe Wilson, a very fine gentleman who, the utterance we say in
he lost control. I couldn't believe that was Joe.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, Willie, the man who put Amen in Amen Corner. I mean, this looks like a great book.
The book
is. You won, too, after you shot the 8 on 17.
The fourth way.
I did.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, 17 is it's a nightmare. Just, shitters.
Can you imagine it's only Tuesday? I can't right now. Hugh Hewitt, thank you.
Thank you,
You come back.
I will. You guys are opposite me in the morning. We'll find a way to talk some other time. I watch you every day during the show. You're on the studio, so when I'm stealing your stuff every single morning.
I love it.
Please do.